Hi, welcome to the Spring JDBC template tutorial with me, Nam Haming from CodeJava.net. In this video tutorial, you will learn how to use JDBC with Spring Framework, how Spring Framework simplifies JDBC programming. In this video, I will walk you through the process of developing a Java project that manages information in a MySQL database, perform CRUD operations like create, retrieve, update, and delete using the JDBC template class provided by Spring Framework. You will see Spring Framework makes it very easy to do database programming with JDBC through the use of JDBC template class. This is my Eclipse IDE. Now we will create a new Java Maven project. New Maven project. Check the option create a simple project. Next, enter the group ID is net.codejava. Artifact ID is Spring JdbC. And finish. Then you can see the project Spring JdbC got created here. Now open the Maven project object model file, the pom.html file here. Double click to open it and click the dependencies tab here. To use Spring JdBC template, we need to add a dependency. Click the add button here. And to use Spring JdBC, we enter the information for the dependency. The group ID is org.spring framework. Artifact ID is Spring-JdBC. And use the latest version of Spring JdBC, which is 5.1.9 release. Click OK. Save the pom.html file. Wait for a few seconds, and you can see Maven automatically download the required Java files for Spring JdBC. You can see here Spring JdBC and other dependent Java files: Spring Bean, Spring Core, Spring JCL, Spring TX. You will see. And in this project, I use MySQL database, so we need to add a dependency for MySQL JDBC driver. Click the add button here, and we enter the information for the MySQL JDBC driver. The group ID is MySQL. Artifact ID is MySQL connector Java. The version is I use the version 5.1.46. Okay. Save the pom.html file, and you will see Maven automatically downloads the MySQL connector Java file here. Very good, right? And this is a XML content of the pom.html file you see here. Of course, you can use the dependency for Spring Framework, Spring Core, Spring Context, Spring Web MVC. For the purpose of learning in this project, I use only Spring JdBC dependency. Okay. And let me show you the database, MySQL database I will use for this project. Open MySQL command line client. So make sure you have MySQL command line client program installed on your computer. Click here to open, and enter the password to connect to the server. Connected. Okay. And I enter the command show databases to list all the databases in the server UC. And we will use the database bookstore. So connect to the database bookstore. And in this database, there's only one table of book you see here. And let's see the structure of this table. You see, this table has 4 fields: book underscore ID, title, author, and price. And let's see the existing data in this table. Select from book. You see, there are 2 rows in this table. Okay, that's the database. And now let's go back to our Java project, and we will developing Java application using JDBC with Spring framework, Spring JdbC to perform CRUD operations, create, retrieve, update, delete information to the book table here. Okay. Now create a new Java package here. New package. The package name is net.codejava.spring. Finish. Okay. And create a new Java class here. Java class. The class name is Spring JdbC. Test. Check the option public static void main to create the main method to run this program. And click finish. Okay, here we go. The class Spring JdbC test. First, we need to define a data source that specifies the information to connect to a database. So in Spring, we use driver manage a data source. Here, data source equal new driver manager data source. And with this data source, we set the information to let Spring framework know to connect to the database, such as the driver class name. With MySQL, the driver class name is com.mysql.jdbc driver, if I remember correctly. And we set the database URL, which is JDBC colon MySQL colon // localhost, and the port number of MySQL database server, which is 3306, and the database name in my computer is bookstore. You see here, bookstore. Bookstore. And we also need to set the username and password to connect to the database. Username root, and password is password. Okay. Sorry, the driver class name is driver. And you see, first we need to create a data source class to define the connection information to the database. Here we use a driver manager data source, and then we create a new instance of the JDBC template class. JDBC template equal new JDBC template, and pass the data source to its constructor. Now with the JDBC template class template object, we can execute a SQL statement, call the update method, and pass a SQL statement. So we need to create a SQL statement here. Now let's create a SQL statement to insert a new row to the book table. Insert into book. Let's see the structure of the book table. As you can see, the book table has 4 fields: book underscore ID, title, author, and price. The book ID field is auto-incremented, so we need to specify only the 3 fields: title, author, and price in the insert SQL statement. Book, title, author, price. Values, we use a question mark to indicate this will be replaced by the actual values. Here we use the update method of the JDBC template class with passing the SQL statement and the value of the parameters here. The first parameter is the title here, Java concurrency, and author is Phillips. The price is $23.99. And this update method returns an integer value similar to the JDBC statements execute method that returns an integer number. So we assign the return value of this method call, and then we check if this greater than 0. That means a new row has been inserted into the database, and we print a message: a new book has been inserted. That's it. Now let's run this program. Let's select all rows from the book table first. You see, now there are 2 rows: the 2 books, effective Java and has first Java. Now let's run this program. run as Java application here. You see, we got an error here, unknown host exception, localhost, sorry, localhost. Okay, run the program again. Unknown database, yeah, box store, sorry. Where? Okay, now run the program again. You see, there's a message printed in the console. A new book has been inserted. Now let's check in the database in my MySQL command like CRUD program here. You see, the third row has been inserted. Java concurrency. Author is Phillips and price is 23.99. Very good, right? So as you can see, with the Spring JDBC template is very simple than using classic JDBC code. You just define a data source, then define a data source, and then create a JDBC template object, and then write an SQL statement and call the update method. Let's modify the values of the parameters for the insert statement to insert another book. Here's of collections. Author is Philip. Wonder. Price is $30. Now run this program again. You see, the message a new book has been inserted, and let's check in the database. You see, Java collections book has been inserted here. Phillips Wonder, price 30. Very good, right? Similarly, you can update the SQL statement to execute update statement. For example, update book set title equal question mark where book underscore id equal question mark. For example, I want to update the book with id 5 here, Java concurrency to Java concurrency in practice, and the author is Brian Goes. Java concurrency in practice. The ID of the book is 5. Okay. Change the message. The book has been updated. Now let's run the program again. And you see the message. The book has been updated. Let's check in the database. You see the book ID 5. The title changed to Java concurrency in practice. And now I want to change the author. So let's modify the query. Update query. Set author. Here the author is Brian. Let's run the program again. Okay, you see the book has been updated, and let's check the database. You see the author of the book. Java concurrency in practice is now Brian West. Very good, right? So that's how to perform update statement with the JDBC template, similar to the insert statement. And you can also try to execute the delete statement here. Delete from book, where book ID. I want to delete the book ID, for example, book ID 1, effective Java. There's only one parameter in the SQL statement, so here we pass only the ID of the book 1. Okay, and change the message to the book has been deleted. Now let's run this program again, and then you see the message the book has been deleted. And let's check the database. You see the book ID 1 has been removed from the database. Very good, right? And now let's see how to write code to retrieve information from the database. So far we have writing code to perform create, update, delete information in the database. And now let's write code to retrieve information from the database. For example, we want to list all the rows from the book table. Let's create a model object that represents a book in the database. Create a new Java class here. Book is the name of the class. Finished. And we create 4 fields that correspond to the 4 fields in the database. Private integer ID, private string title, private string author, and private string private float price. And we generate a constructor. Right click, source, generate constructor using fields. Generate constructor for this model class. Select all fields here and click OK. And you see. And then we also need to generate getter ancestors method. Getter ancestor here. And select all. OK. You see. And we format the code. Source format. You see. This is a model class book that represents row in the database. And now go back to our main program and we change the SQL statement to a select statement. Select asterisk from book. This statement select all row from the book table. And to retrieve a list of rows from the database using the JDBCTemplate, we need to use another method, the query method here, passing a SQL statement and a row mapper object here, SQL and row mapper. We create a new row mapper class here, row mapper, for the book type. Row mapper equal new row mapper. This is an anonymous class without row number. In this map row method, we map the information in the result set to a model object book here for each row in the result set. We get the title from the result title of the book as string title, and we get the ID of the book result get integer. The column name is book underscore ID. Similarly, we get the author and the price of the book. Author price E of type float. Price get float price, and we return a new book object here. New book. Pass the values ID, title, author, and price. Okay. And the query method returns a list. So we assign the return value to a list book. List books. And we iterate for each book in the list. Book book in list book, and we print the information of each book. Go back to the book class and we generate. We override the toString method. Override the toString method. Generate toString here for all the fields here. Okay, and you see. And now let's run the main program to see. Spring JdBC test. You see the result. 3 books, ID 2, ID 5, ID 6. Let's see in the database. 3 books, very good, right? So that's how to write code with the JDBC template to retrieve information from the database. We select all rows from a table, and then we create a row mapper to map each result set to each object in the result list. You see. And what if we want to get only one row from the database? For example, we select a book that meets the condition. For example, select a book where book underscore ID equal to a number. For example, ID 6 Java collections. Yeah, we still use a row mapper, and in the return type we assign the return type to a single object instead of a collection. Book here, and we call the method query for object, passing the SQL statement and a row mapper, and print the information of the book. Now let's run this program that select a single row from the database. You see, book ID 6 called Java collections, Phillips Wonder, price 30, a very good, right? So far I have guided you how to use the JDBC template in Spring Framework to perform CRUD operations, create or retrieve, update, delete, And you see, Spring Framework make it easier to work with JDBC. You just declare a data source and then create a JDBC template object, write a SQL statement, and then call various methods of the JDBC template, update, query for object, and use a row mapper to map the information in each result set for the query that returns multiple rows. You see, there are also various methods provided by the JDBC template class, and it's an exercise to explore and experiment with those methods. Okay.